Greetings viewers, this is Monotone Maverick coming at you with another review video. Today we'll be continuing the review for the figure-wise Standard Amplified Imperialdramon. We're going to assemble this together and see how it looks like in the Dragon mode. Now with that out of the way, let's start assembling. And here we have Imperialdramon in Dragon mode. And for first impressions, I'm a little bit mixed. For starters, the colors do match well and they do complement each other quite well. As I stated in the parts video, the blue, which is a mix of cobalt and like a gray blue color, does match well perfectly. It kind of counterbalances the darker colors like the black and even the gold, even the crimson red. The white, even though it's like a shade darker than regular white, does match well. So all the colors here really complement each other quite well. So I am happy about that. As for proportion wise, I feel like the back legs are just a little bit big for this kit alone. I feel like the legs are just like twice as big than they need to be for the rest of the body. Now yes, some of this could be just because of the transformation. But at the same time though, I cannot get behind this kit 100%. Because the thing that did bother me when I was putting this together, that headpiece that I mentioned before during the parts video did come off. This came off about a couple times when I was just putting this together, and that doesn't even look as connected properly, just because I didn't want to fall off. Even the Positron laser on top did fall off a couple times. So I am disappointed about that. That's definitely one of the big cons about this kit, and I understand that some model kits some pieces do fall off, but the fact that it falls off quite easily, that is sad to say, whereas other kits, some pieces don't fall off as easily. The pieces alone, on the side, what we can do, what we need to find out is this is good in terms of posability. Let's see just how articulate it can be. Now, as I stated in the parts video, the wings do have various points, I should say, of articulation, so I'm not going to bother with that. However, I'm just going to take this off to make things easier. Let's see how the legs move. So, just going to move that out of the way. The front legs, or the arms, do move 360 degrees. They do extend like so. So there is some movement and proper articulation like so. There is a arm swivel, so the arms can go 360 degrees by themselves. The arms do move forward and back, just ever so slightly. So there is some movement, so that is quite thankful for that. I did show the waist swivel, but I did not show the tail articulation. The tails can actually go all the way around, and if the wings weren't in the way, a nice 360 degrees for the tail. And there's another point here. And that's it for the tail. Now for the back legs, the legs can actually move just as the front legs, 360 degrees, and if it was for the Positron laser, actually, okay, good, I can show that. And the legs themselves can extend out, just because of a piece inside the waist here, so that's very good. And there is a slight knee bend, doesn't go all the way just because of this piece here for the knee. And the toes can go all the way back, like so. Actually, let me see if I can get, there we go. The foot itself can go 360 degrees. So very good about that. I think that's it for articulation. I do want to show this part that this kit actually comes with a connection piece for an action base. So what we gotta do is make sure that this piece here, this little smaller hole, actually connects to the waist here, and this bigger piece, or this bigger hole, or the connection piece, connects to the torso. So all you gotta do is maneuver it properly, like so. And here we have an aerial assault from Imperialdramon. And definitely this does help the kit a lot. The fact that there is a connection port for an action base does help the kit out by having it in aerial poses or just poses in general. So there is a plus for that. So I am thankful for that alone. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, you gotta be careful to pose this just because some of the pieces do come off. The headpiece came off again. The Pesotron laser as on its back came off again. So yeah, just be very careful whenever you pose this kit. With all that aside, the one thing that really makes this kit stand out is the fact that it transforms. So, just like how I showed in the parts video, but to show you how it is and whenever all this is assembled, what you're going to need to do is remove the head completely, like so. Take this off. You got to take crest off, the hair off, the mane. And you don't really need this, so that can be put to the side. Remove this. You don't need the neck piece. Remove the Pesotron laser, like so. And remove the chest piece. If I can get my finger underneath there. There we go. Alright. Now what you need to do is, in Dragon mode, the waist or the thighs really are extended out. So what you need to do for fighter mode, you need to push the legs in, like so. Move those out of the way. Take these off. Oops. Extend the thigh. And put these back on. This one's a bit, there we go. Turn around, hit that little tab as I showed you in the parts video. Extend that, pull that down, put that back in. Same thing on the other leg. Extend the feet like so. The legs are done. As for the arms, you can take these pieces off. I'll do this. Take these off. Take this off. Gotta twist the forearm like so. Extend it, twist it back. And I had this done before. Excuse me 1 minute. Sorry about that. The arms for some reason were very finicky with me. I don't know if any other people had this issue. But anyway, the whole point I wanted to show you was the arms will extend like so. What you'll do is twist it forms like that, push it back like so, and twist it back in this position. And fold the fingers down like so. Then you take these that were once on the forearms in Dragon mode, which will be the shoulder pads in Fighter mode. So you take the dragon head, it's going to go in the center, turn that around, and this piece which was on the dragon head is going to go right here in the back piece. There are 2 tabs here, there are 2 holes here. That's a little close up. So these 2 tabs, like so. Then you take this head crest that was on dragon mode, or dragon's head, right there, inside that hole, like so. And for the extra pieces, you got the fists. So these are going to go right here in the arms. There we go. Just going to write this down real quick. There we go. For the Pesotron laser, this is actually going to go into the arm. So peg here and a hole here. And last but not least, the head right there. And here we have Imperialdramon in fighter mode. Now that I see this kit fully transformed, first impressions, the fighter mode is definitely the best of the 2. It does work well, the pieces don't fall off as easily as it did in Dragon mode. And also the transformation for some of the things, the arms and the legs, do work well. Yes, for me, the arms were just a little bit finicky, so that is a little bit of a downside to it. But at the same time, I prefer to have this in fighter mode either, so I'm not planning on transferring this anytime soon. Then also the connection pieces, these pieces right here that's on the shoulders that were once on the arms, I seem like they just slide in. There was no hole or peg. If I know my words, sorry about that. Do apologize. But there's no peg or hole to go inside the shoulders, so it's not bad. They have not slipped off, so I would say for connection wise, it's good for right now. But other than that, yes, there was just a couple of hindrances to the point that some pieces were falling off during the transformation, but again, it is to be expected. This is a kit and it transforms. Yes, it's going to happen. But yes, also another thing that I do want to add, proportion-wise, just like how I said for the Dragon mode, the Fighter mode legs do look a little bit big for this kit. Then again, in the show, this character was a giant. It was well over 100 feet tall, or I think they did by meters, so it was about 80 meters. I could be wrong on that. I do want to take this moment that the fighter mode also comes with a connection piece for an action base, like so. And of all places it's going to go is actually between the legs, like so. Just have to back up a little bit for this, but just because that the fighter mode is actually a lot bigger than I realized. The fact that I had to back up just a little bit more just to get a much broad view of it on the action base. But at the same time though, it fits. As like I mentioned before, this character was enormous in the show, so the fact that this kid is pretty big by itself does fit well. Another gimmick that this kit comes with is actually you can take the positron laser and actually insert it into the chest piece by lifting the chest piece like so, opening its mouth. Oops. And not all that way. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so about that, just this was not moving properly, so you gotta move this, the head up, move this down. Not to the point that, okay, it's not disconnected. It's gonna go in like so, but in order to do so, you also gotta twist the forearms, and the thing is, these arms don't want to twist properly. There we go. I know there's like a stiff joint. There we go. Oops. Okay, the lower jaw of the Dragomo's head just came off. Back to this. So the positron laser actually has two little handles that can come off to the side, like so. And all you gotta do is just to insert them. Like so. Now for some side comparison. Here's it with War Greymon. And you can tell that he's actually just slightly bigger. Not by much, I would say just by a hair. But one thing that I have noticed is between these two, proportion-wise, as I mentioned before, Imperialdramon's legs are definitely a lot bigger than they should be. Like even the waist, just compared to these two, just seems slightly off. Even though he is a little bit bigger, just by a little much in terms of where the heads are located. But if you can tell from the waist is way up there, whereas this looks much more proportionate. So that is a little bit of a drawback in my personal opinion. And here you see with another standardized figure amplified Imperialdramon. But just for proper comparison, that's how he looks standing up. And even by this standards, Imperialdramon is still bigger. Now on to my final thoughts. The pros and cons and everything else in between. For starters, for the pros, and there are a couple, the colors like I mentioned before several times do match well, they coordinate well with each other. That being said, is also that glossy look. Whenever there is a light shining into it, it does have that semi-gloss look. So not something that you had to, but it definitely does make it stand out a lot better than if the color that they chose was like a matte, like very soft tone. So the fact that they picked that shade of color to use really does stand out. Proportion wise, this is both good and bad. Everything from the waist up is good. For proportion, waist down, not so much. They mentioned a couple of times that the legs are just seem a little bit too big for this. Yes, it's understandable due to the transformation, they will be extended to a point, but by that much, I kind of wish that the legs were a lot more proportionate. It seems like the legs itself is probably the same size, if not a little bit bigger than the rest of the body. That alone should not be taken away that the fact this kit does look nice. After everything is assembled together properly, it does stand out. This by far, as of this moment, the biggest amplified kit I do have. I don't know about the Machinedramon, I have not received that yet. Now, as for the cons, and there are a couple, some pieces do fall off, much more in Dragon mode than Fighter mode, so that is a plus, which is going to show I'm going to have this in Fighter mode just to prevent all that. With that, also, Dragon mode form definitely is the weakest out of the two. Dragon mode, proportion-wise, did not look well even for this Dragon mode. Even for the kit that's understandable, even though it's a transformation is understandable, the Dragon mode is just too weak in my personal opinion. But with all that said and done, is this a kit worth getting? I would say after the pros and cons and after my own experience, I would say yes. It shouldn't be the top of the list. It's not the greatest kit because of some flaws I mentioned, but I would say it'd be a good addition regardless to a collection, whether it be if you are into model kits or if you're into the standard Amplified line, or if you're just a Digimon fan. Those reasons alone should be enough to have this kit in your collection. Another pro that I forgot to add is the articulation. It's stiff for the Dragon mode, but really good for the Fighter mode. So articulation in the Fighter mode, a lot better. Again, Fighter mode, definitely best of the two. But after hearing my opinion, the choice is yours. If you really want to add this, go for it. It was a fun build, that much I can't say. Very simple, very easy. But then again, the Amplified line has been very simple and easy so far for me. So I am pleased by that. Now with all that said and done, I want to thank all of you for watching these set of reviews for Imperialdramon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing your support by commenting, by liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that notification bell. I will say that there are more, and there's one more line in the Standard Amplified line. And I'll be doing that shortly. And if you've seen my War Greymon videos, you will know what is the next kit. But I figured to take a break from that and take care of this one. And that should be it for the Standard Amplified line. Just one more kit, and then I'll be going to either Gunpla or Zords afterwards. So again, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, keep on building.